When the radiology technician saw the 17 metal fragments in Robert Hayes's body, she immediately called the doctor, because these pieces weren't medical implants. They were bullets, shrapnel, and explosive remnants. And this 85-year-old man had been living with them for 60 years. Welcome to Iron Will Stories. Before I start telling this story, please let us know in the comments which city you're watching from, and if you believe these kinds of stories should be remembered, hit the subscribe button to help keep these stories alive. The emergency room at Riverside General Hospital was as busy as always. 2:30 p.m., Thursday afternoon. More than 30 patients were waiting in the waiting area. Most were young, impatient, buried in their phones. And in a corner there was an old man sitting alone. Robert Hayes, 85 years old. His gray hair neatly combed, wearing old but clean clothes. His left hand pressed against his chest, waiting quietly. Nobody looked at him twice. Just another elderly patient. Nurse Janet Morrison, 34 years old, had been doing this job for 12 years, but lately she had become impatient, especially with elderly patients. Slow, forgetful, constantly complaining. "Mr. Hayes," she called out, shuffling through files. "Robert Hayes!" The old man slowly stood up. He swayed a little. Janet rolled her eyes. "Come here. What's your problem?" Robert approached, out of breath. "I have pain in my chest, since this morning." "What kind of pain? Sharp, burning, crushing?" "My old wounds are hurting," Robert said quietly. Janet frowned. "Old wounds? What wounds?" "It's a long story." "Yeah, everything's a long story with you people. Sit down here." Janet measured his blood pressure, checked his pulse. Normal readings. But there was some difficulty in Robert's breathing. "Do you smoke?" "No, never smoked." "Alcohol?" "No." "Are you taking any medications?" "No." Janet grew impatient. "Then why is your chest hurting?" Robert remained silent. How could he explain? That wounds he received 60 years ago in Korea, Vietnam, then in covert operations still hurt. That metal pieces were moving around in his body. "Old age," he said simply. Janet rolled her eyes. "Old age isn't a disease. We'll do an EKG and x-rays, but first you'll wait 2 to 3 hours. If it's not urgent." "It's not urgent. If you were having a heart attack, you'd already be lying on the floor over there." Robert returned to his corner seat. Other patients looked at him with pity, old, sick, alone, but none of them knew who Robert Hayes really was. When it was 4 p.m., he was finally called. "Hayes, EKG room." A young technician, Mike Chen, performed the EKG. When Robert opened his chest, Mike frowned. "What are these marks?" Robert's chest, stomach, and arms were covered with countless scars. Old, whitened, deep marks. "Old wounds," Robert said. "Wow, you've had a lot of surgeries."
Something like that.
The EKG came back normal. Then it was time for x-rays. Radiology technician Lisa Park, 28 years old, had been doing this job for 5 years. She took 50 to 60 x-rays a day. Routine work. "Take a deep breath," she told Robert. "Hold it. Click. Breathe out. One more. Click. Okay, we're done. Results will be ready in 20 minutes." Lisa turned to the computer and began opening the x-ray films. Routine check. Elderly patient. Probably mild heart problems. But what she saw on the screen froze her. In Robert Hayes's chest, stomach, shoulder, there were metal fragments everywhere. 17 pieces. Small, large, different shapes. What was this? Lisa looked closer. These metal pieces weren't surgical materials. They weren't prosthetics. These were... "Oh my God," she murmured. She immediately called the doctor. Dr. Sarah Kim, 32 years old, emergency medicine specialist. She'd been doing this job for 8 years, had seen thousands of patients. But the panic in Lisa's voice put her on alert. "What's wrong, Lisa?" "Doctor, look at this x-ray, Mr. Hayes' results." Dr. Kim looked at the screen. Her eyes widened. "What is this?" "I don't know, but these metal pieces aren't medical." Dr. Kim examined more closely. Thanks to her father being a military doctor, she recognized these types of wounds. These are war wounds." "What?" "Shrapnel fragments, bullet fragments, explosive remnants." Dr. Kim's voice was trembling. This man is a war veteran. Lisa was shocked. But he never mentioned it. Most of them don't. Dr. Kim immediately ran to the emergency room. Robert was still sitting in the corner, waiting patiently. "Mr. Hayes?" Robert looked up. "Doctor? Could you come with me?" "To a private examination room." Robert stood up and followed Dr. Kim. Nurse Janet watched them go, curious. In the examination room, Dr. Kim hung the x-ray films on the light panel. "Mr. Hayes, these are your x-ray results." Robert looked at the films. The metal pieces he'd been carrying in his body for 60 years were visible so clearly for the first time. "Yes," he said simply. These are war wounds, aren't they?" Robert remained silent. "Mr. Hayes, I'm the son of a military doctor. I recognize these wounds." Which war were you wounded in? Which one wasn't I wounded in? Robert said quietly. Dr. Kim held her breath. You served in multiple wars? Korea, 1952. Vietnam, 1967-1969. Then, the others. The others? Operations not in the records. The door opened. Nurse Janet entered. When she saw the X-ray films, she froze. What is this? Mr. Hayes' X-ray results, Dr. Kim said. Janet looked closely at the films. These metal pieces... War wounds, Dr. Kim said. Mr. Hayes is a war veteran. Janet's face changed. She remembered how she had treated him that morning. I didn't know. You didn't ask, Robert said calmly. Dr. Kim couldn't hide her curiosity. How are so many metal pieces not removed? Most are in too risky locations, Robert said. Some too close to the spine. Some to the heart, some to the lungs. You've been living with these for 60 years? I'm lucky compared to my friends who died. The room fell into silence. Dr. Kim cleared her throat. Is today's pain from these pieces? When the weather changes, they move. Old wounds hurt. Which unit? First Marines, then Special Operations. Dr. Kim's eyes widened. Special Forces? Long time ago. The door opened again. This time head nurse Margaret Williams entered. She had 20 years of experience. Dr. Kim, why is this patient in a private room? Margaret saw the X-ray films. Her breath caught. Dear God. This. War veteran, Dr. Kim said. Margaret turned to Robert. Which war? All of them, Robert said simply. Margaret closed her eyes. Her father had also been a Vietnam veteran. He had also suffered in silence like this, never talked about it. Mr. Hayes, Margaret said, softening her voice. I apologize for how we treated you. We didn't know. There was no need for you to know. There was, Dr. Kim said firmly. You're a hero. No, Robert cut her off. I just did my job. The heroes are my friends who didn't come back. These words affected everyone even more. Dr. Kim leaned on the table. Mr. Hayes, these metal pieces can move. Some are in dangerous locations. Regular monitoring is needed. I've been monitoring them for 60 years. Every morning I wake up, I know I have one more lucky day. But modern medicine has advanced a lot, doctor. But I've gotten very old too. These pieces have aged with me. They're inseparable parts of me now. Nurse Janet stepped forward. Mr. Hayes, I apologize for how I treated you this morning. I was very disrespectful. Don't apologize, Robert said. You were doing your job. I'm just another patient. No, you're not, Dr. Kim said. You're a guest of this hospital, of this country. You deserve respect. The door opened once more. This time, Chief of Medicine Dr. James Patterson entered. He had heard the commotion in the emergency room and came to check. What's happening here? Dr. Kim explained the situation. Dr. Patterson looked at the X-ray films. Dr. Patterson's father had also been in the military. He had served as a doctor in the Navy. He recognized these types of wounds. Special operations? He asked Robert. Yes, sir. Which unit? I can't say, sir. Still classified. Dr. Patterson nodded. Of course. He turned to the staff. Why did you make this man wait 3 hours? Doctor, Nurse Janet began to stammer. Mr. Hayes, Dr. Patterson said. On behalf of the hospital, I apologize for how we treated you. This is unacceptable. Doctor, No, Mr. Hayes. You're not just a patient. You're a veteran who fought for this country's freedom. And we made you wait. Dr. Patterson turned to the staff. Every veteran who comes to this hospital will be treated as a priority patient. Understood? Yes, doctor, everyone said at once. Robert tried to stand up. Doctor, don't exaggerate. Mr. Hayes, sit down. We're going to give you a complete checkup. Free of charge. Hospital-sponsored. No need, there is, Dr. Patterson said firmly. Thanks to people like you, we can work here freely. Dr. Kim stepped forward. Mr. Hayes, those metal pieces, do they hurt? I'm used to it. Do you take painkillers? Never have. Dr. Kim was shocked. You've been living without painkillers for 60 years? Pain reminds us we're alive. This statement affected everyone. Nurse Margaret stepped forward. Mr. Hayes, do you have family? My wife died 10 years ago. We had no children. I'm alone. Relatives? My real family stayed in the war. 60 years ago. The room fell into silence again. Dr. Patterson made his decision. Mr. Hayes, you're now a VIP patient at this hospital. Whenever you come, you'll receive priority treatment. Doctor, this is too much. No, it's not even enough. Dr. Kim couldn't hide her curiosity. Mr. Hayes, those operations, what did you do? Robert remained silent. Then he spoke slowly. Doctor, some things should stay in the darkness of night. I just did my job for my country. Details don't matter. But history is written by those who lived it. I just lived. Dr. Patterson nodded. Respectable approach. Robert stood up. May I go now? Of course. But first, Dr. Patterson turned to the nurse. Margaret, add Mr. Hayes's information to the VIP list and prescribe painkillers. Doctor, I don't want painkillers. Mr. Hayes, you're 85 years old. You've been in pain for 60 years. Stop suffering now. Robert smiled. He smiled for the first time that day. Doctor, the day I stop suffering, I'll forget them. The dead ones. And I shouldn't forget them. This statement deeply affected everyone. Dr. Kim wiped her eyes. Mr. Hayes, you're a real hero. No, doctor. I'm just a lucky person. Lucky and stubborn. Robert walked toward the door. He stopped at the door, turned back. These metal pieces are my story. Each one is a memory, a friend, an operation. Removing them would mean forgetting them, and I won't forget. He left through the door. Everyone in the emergency room remained frozen. Nurse Janet was crying. I remember how I treated him, so shameful. We all learned today, Dr. Patterson said. Appearances can be deceiving. Dr. Kim looked at the X-ray films again. 17 metal pieces. 60 years. How did he endure? Will, Dr. Patterson said. Pure will. From that day on, every elderly patient at Riverside Hospital was treated differently, because everyone remembered Robert Hayes, and everyone learned this. No one is what they appear to be. Sometimes the most ordinary-looking people have the most extraordinary stories. Robert Hayes, 85 years old, an ordinary old man living alone, but also a hero who put his life on the line for his country, who has been suffering silently for 60 years, who chose not to forget. And the 17 metal pieces in his body are proof of his unforgettable story. This story teaches us this. We should never judge the people in front of us by their appearance. That old man, ordinary woman, quiet neighbor, who knows what they've been through, what sacrifices they've made. Respect is a matter of choice. And we don't need to know someone is a hero to show respect. Every person deserves respect. Subscribe to Iron Will Stories for more tales of ordinary people who refuse to let others define their destiny. If you believe these kinds of stories deserve to be remembered, please like, share, and subscribe, because every hero's story deserves to be remembered. See you in our next story.